From coast to coast across Canada, welcome to the only nationally syndicated junior hockey radio show. This is a special edition of RBC Junior Hockey Magazine. Hey hockey fans, I'm your host Adam Scully, filling in for Gino Retta. On this week's show, we're coming to you from the World Women's Hockey Championships in our nation's capital in Ottawa, courtesy of Chevrolet Safe and Fun Hockey. She's the only captain to lead Canada to 2 Olympic gold medals and is a Canadian hockey icon who is now a spokesperson for Hockey Canada's Chevrolet Safe and Fun program. We go one-on-one with Cassie Campbell-Pascal. We'll tell you about one of the most shocking upsets in junior hockey history, and you'll hear from Jonathan Drouin, who led his Halifax Mooseheads to a dominating first-round sweep. Our insiders are back to give us insight into the CHL and who the top prospects are from around the O, the Dub, and the Q. And we unveil this week's Buzzing in the Net Player of the Week, brought to you by Yahoo Canada Sports. Stay tuned, Canada. Here from the World Women's Hockey Championships in Ottawa, this is RBC Junior Hockey Magazine.
RBC Play Hockey. From the pond to the podium, from the early morning practices to the Saturday night game, RBC is proud to support the hard work and dedication that helps hockey happen. RBC Play Hockey is a collection of programs and partnerships, including RBC Play Hockey grants, providing financial support to hockey projects and communities right across North America, and RBC Play Hockey ambassadors who make a difference for communities everywhere. RBC is proud to support the hard work and dedication that helps hockey happen.
Whoa, what is that?
Oh, it's Tim's new breakfast panini. Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, how am I supposed to feel about my breakfast now?
What?
Look what I'm eating. Now look at your grilled, flatbread, melty, beautiful, sausage, egg, breakfast panini.
Oh, you feel bad because mine's way better.
Yeah.
Like way better.
I know.
Like way...
I'll be at Tim's.
Tim Hortons' new flatbread breakfast panini. Grilled to hot, melted perfection, and only $3.09 plus applicable taxes. At participating restaurants, prices may vary by region.
Welcome back to Ottawa hockey fans. This is RBC Junior Hockey Magazine. I'm your host, Adam Scully, filling in for Gino Retta. Time now for this week's news and notes. In the queue, the Halifax Mooseheads swept their way into the second round of the playoffs in dominating fashion, easily dismantling the St. John's Sea Dogs. The Mooseheads outscored the Sea Dogs 25-4 in the series, including an 11-1 Game 1 trouncing. The team was led by Martin Firk and Jonathan Drouin, who both scored 10 points in the series. According to the third-ranked skater for the upcoming draft, the team is very focused right now.
Our goal right now is to win the QMJHL title, and we'll just focus on that, and if we win, we'll focus about the Mem Cup after.
In the O, the Belleville Bulls are on their way to the second round of the playoffs as the Eastern Conference top seed defeated the Mississauga Steelheads in 6 games. The Bulls received a minor scare as they lost both games 3 and 4, but were able to come back to win both games 5 and 6. Bulls captain Brendan Gauntz led the way, scoring 9 points during the series. The Vancouver Canucks prospect says experience was a key factor for the entire team.
I think for everyone on our team it did. We were out last year in the first round, and that was the first time most of us had played in the playoffs in the OHL, so we knew that we wanted to make it past the first round this year, and I think that helped us a ton. In the Dub, the Memorial Cup hosts Saskatoon Blades have been swept out of the first round of the playoffs. The Blades lost 4 straight games to the Medicine Hat Tigers and will have over 6 weeks until their next game, which is the opening night of the Memorial Cup on May 17th. Colorado Avalanche first-round prospect Duncan Siemens talked about what went wrong.
I think that we got away from our game plan. We didn't go out and execute the way we needed to. And on the flip side of it, they had a game plan that they stuck to, and proved to bring them a lot of success.
And that wraps up this week's news and notes. Coming up, we go one-on-one with Canadian hockey legend Cassie Campbell when we come back. This is a special edition of RBC Junior Hockey Magazine, coming to you from the World Women's Hockey Championships, courtesy of Chevrolet Safe and Fun Hockey. Welcome back to Ottawa hockey fans, to RBC Junior Hockey Magazine. I'm your host, Adam Scully, filling in for Gino Retta. It's time to travel across Canada and speak to our weekly insiders from coast to coast. First up, it's Rick the Bear Weil from the WHL and our affiliate CHNL out in beautiful Kamloops, BC. And Bear, the Medicine Hat Tigers were the giant killers in round 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. They defeated the second seed Saskatoon Blades in 4 straight, shocking many.
Well, you bet, Adam. The Tigers had a well-balanced attack. Hunter Shinkarik had points in 3 of the 4 games, but the supporting cast was tremendous. Medicine Hat had 12 different goal scorers in those 4 games. He outscored the Blades 15-4. The goaltending of Cam Lanigan left the Blades breathless and frustrated. He stopped 162 shots of the 166 that he faced for a flabbergasting 976 saves percentage.
Talk to us a little bit about this Cam Lanigan. You saw him firsthand in Kamloops last season.
Well, he's no stranger to pressure hockey, I have to say that. He was in goal for that Blazers' unforgettable 7-game series against Portland last season after Cole Cheveldae was hurt. When he got to Kamloops, he was an ordinary goaltender, but he worked extensively with a brain expert to get his game on track and get mentally into it. He believes in himself, and that said, it's a really tall order now for him and the Tigers going against the defending champion Edmonton Oil Kings.
Now, the Blazers and the Winterhawks had their hands full in the first round. What happened? A lot of people expected both teams to have an easy time in round one.
Well, both teams dominated territorial play. Portland faced Everett. Kamloops met Victoria. They outshot them severely, but goaltending held the Royals and the Silvertips in those best-of-sevens as they took them to 6 games in each case. And high marks to Austin Lotz of Everett and Patrick Polivka of Victoria. They were terrific.
So how bright does the future look for the teams they beat, Victoria and Everett?
Well, I think it looks good for both teams, actually. They both have some really good young prospects, and of course, experience that you gain in the playoffs goes a long way in the overall development of teams and players.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the individual stars of the first round, and Cale Kessie surprised a lot of people.
Well, 7 goals in 6 games for Kessie. He's a big, imposing player. He did a great job imposing his size in front of the net for Kamloops against Victoria. And he's more than just an enforcer. He's a big guy with skill, and he can play.
Other than Kessie, there were some familiar names amongst the offensive stars in the first round.
Well, J.C. Lapon, 14 points in 6 games. He is the scoring leader in the playoffs. Brendan Leipzig of Portland, who won the regular season scoring race, had 11 points, as did Colin Smith of the Blazers. Stéphane Legault and Michael St. Croix of Edmonton put up some pretty good numbers as well, and we should be hearing a lot from them, although the Oil Kings do have a lot of offensive talent from top to bottom.
Thanks, Bear. We'll do it again next week.
All right, thanks, Adam. Take care.
From Rick the Bear Weil and Kamloops, move our way east to London, Ontario, and our OHL insider, Jim the Hitman Cressman. And Jim, the moving vans are all loaded up, and the Brampton Battalion are ready to make their move up north.
Yep, it's going to be the North Bay Battalion, actually starting on the weekend, this weekend right now, as the OHL draft takes place. It's the new North Bay franchise. Then, of course, next year they'll be on the ice up there. After 15 years in Brampton, of course, this is not news, but owner Scott Abbott, deep pockets, but, you know, even smart businessmen will only bleed so much, and finally he pulled the plug. And it was all about attendance. And so fittingly, 2,900 people showed up for the final game of the Sudbury Series in Brampton. But the battalion were without Coach Stan Butler that night. He had a 5-game suspension for abuse of officials. He was serving his 3rd game that night, so he'll start off next season sitting in the press box for the first 2 games. So a rather auspicious way to start off in a new city.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Stan Butler hasn't been the only major suspension in the postseason.
Players, when are they going to learn? Andrei Koptev of the Niagara Ice Dogs, a 10-game suspension. Of course, the Ice Dogs have been eliminated. He'll return 7 games into next season. And Ryan O'Connor of the Barrie Colts, a 10-game suspension. Now, his suspension when he returns depends on how deep into the playoffs that the Colts go, because of course they're still alive in the second round.
And London Knights D-man Tommy Hughes is an inspiration to overagers right across the Canadian Hockey League.
Yep, this 20-year-old defenseman who's been described as fearless just signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the New York Rangers as a free agent after being passed over in 3 NHL drafts. Nobody wanted him, but now the Rangers do, because in his overage years, you know what? So perseverance. Stick with it, guys.
All right, thanks, Jim. We'll do it again next week.
Hey, Gino Jr., it's been fun talking to you.
From Jim the Hitman Cressman in London, Ontario, we continue our journey east to our next stop in Montreal. Our Q insider, Stéphane Leroux. And Stéphane, the first round of the Q playoffs is over, and there were two big upsets with Gatineau and Victoriaville surprisingly defeating Rimouski and Moncton.
Yeah, I think no one saw that those two surprises coming, especially from Gatineau finishing 13 overall in the standings and Rimouski finishing 4th overall. But this team in Gatineau, and when they were called the All-Olympics before, they always had some success during the playoffs, and that's exactly what happened again this year with the coach Benoit Gros over there, the winningest coach in the history of the Quebec Junior Hockey League as far as playoffs are concerned. So they were able to put the Rimouski aside in 6 games. And when you look at the other upsets, it came from the Victoriaville Teagues, who eliminate the Moncton Wildcats, a pretty strong team. Moncton made a couple of trades. They acquired Philippe Dano at the Christmas time, a former player from Victoriaville, and they were able to win that series in 5 games. I think the turning point was the game number 3 when Moncton was leading 5-1 in the third period, and then Victoriaville came with 4 goals and finally winning in overtime. I think that's where the series gone for Moncton. So Victoriaville and Gatineau is going to be part of the second round.
Now, Wednesday night was award night in the Q, and Halifax Moosehead sniper Jonathan Drouin was a star.
Yeah, he was named the MVP of the Quebec Junior Hockey League for 2012-2013. He was named the Personality of the Year in the Quebec Junior Hockey League, and he was named the best prospect in the Quebec Junior Hockey League. And remember, he's only 17 years old, and he finished only 5 points behind Ben Duffy in the scoring race. And don't forget, he played only 49 games this year because of the World Junior and because of injury. So it was a great, great night for the Halifax Moosehead, and especially Jonathan Drouin.
Thanks a lot, Stéphane. We'll do it again next week.
My pleasure.
And that does it for this week's Insiders Report. Coming up, she's one of the most inspirational leaders in Canadian sports history. We'll go one-on-one with Canadian icon Cassie Campbell-Pascal. You're listening to Canada's only nationally syndicated junior hockey radio show. This is a special edition of RBC Junior Hockey Magazine, coming to you from the World Women's Hockey Championship in Ottawa. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Safe and fun hockey.
RBC Play Hockey. From the pond to the podium, from the early morning practices to the Saturday night game, RBC is proud to support the hard work and dedication that helps hockey happen. RBC Play Hockey is a collection of programs and partnerships, including RBC Play Hockey grants, providing financial support to hockey projects and communities right across North America, and RBC Play Hockey ambassadors who make a difference for communities everywhere. RBC is proud to support the hard work and dedication that helps hockey happen. Kids never forget their first hockey helmet. Chevrolet believes there's nothing more important than safety. Over the last 2 years, Chevrolet has shown its commitment to safety in hockey by providing over 25,000 children across Canada with their first hockey helmet. Chevrolet has once again committed to provide helmets next hockey season to children born in 2008. For more information or to pre-register, please visit safeandfunhockey.ca. Chevrolet, safe on the road, safe on the ice.
Welcome back to Ottawa. This is RBC Junior Hockey Magazine. I'm your host, Adam Scully, filling in for Gino Retta. When someone thinks about Canadian women's hockey and all the success our nation's program has had, Cassie Campbell-Pascal is the first name that usually comes up. Joining us now is the Canadian icon herself. Cassie, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Cassie, you're a spokesperson for Hockey Canada's Chevrolet Safe and Fun program. How did that get started?
It started way back in 1999, I guess, and I was approached by General Motors and Chevrolet to be part of their Chevrolet Safe and Fun hockey program, and it seemed to be a really good fit for me as women's hockey was growing, and more kids in the female game were being pressured, and things were growing in the women's game, and there was more things to aspire to. It was a great fit for me, and on how to help hockey parents, and it's been fun to work alongside Bobby Orr and Vern Stenlin and Harold Conrad and all the people involved. So it's amazing that it's still going after starting in 1999, and we're still having fun doing it. And, I think the Chevrolet Safe and Fun hockey program has had a huge impact across the country.
Now, tell us a little bit about the program. What are some of the major goals that help kids from coast to coast?
Well, I think, just learning about respect and responsibility, and, hockey by nature is a pretty competitive sport, and, we want to make sure that kids are having fun playing, and that starts with, learning about respect and responsibility and discipline and teamwork and all those great values that we learn from playing the game. And I think, letting the parents understand what their role is within the game, and that it should be making sure that your kid is playing in a safe and fun environment. And, if your child makes the NHL or the Women's Olympic team, that's just a great bonus. But, they'll have no chance getting there if they're not having fun playing while they're growing up. So I think our program just serves as a really good reminder of what kids should be focused on while they're playing the game.
Now, Cassie, let's take a look back to your hockey career. You captained our nation to 2 Olympic gold medals, 2002 in Salt Lake and 2006 in Turin. You're the only captain, either male or female, to lead Canada to 2 Olympic golds. How special is it to think of that accomplishment?
Well, it's funny, at the time of my retirement, I had no idea that was even the possibility, and Andre Bryn, the communications person for Hockey Canada, put out a wonderful press release, and I read it, and I was like, I didn't even know. And, so it definitely wasn't a goal of mine to be the only captain or the first or whatever it is, that, to have 2 Olympic gold medals. I played in some great teams, and teams where a lot of the other players could have easily been captains. So, it was just a great run, and, to watch the sport develop and grow, and to get the amount of attention that it's getting now, and to have been a very small part of it. It's just been sort of a surreal ride to watch the women's game, just, that it's been on.
And now we're coming to you here from the World Women's Hockey Championship in Ottawa. Let's talk about this team that's at this tournament. It's led by Coach Dan Church. What do you think are some of the major strengths of this year's squad?
Well, I think the depth, and the depth of, they can pretty much roll 4 lines, and all 4 lines can score, and all 4 lines can play defense, and, the great goaltending. Shannon Zabados is arguably the best goaltender in the world, and I to be honest with you, I think she's, maybe hasn't played the number of games of a Kim St. Pierre or something like that, but I think she's probably the best goaltender that's ever put on the Canadian jersey for the women's team. She's just so mentally tough, and, I watched the game the other night against the U.S., and, Canada was completely dominated in that first period, and they were down 2-0, and I just knew Shannon wouldn't allow another goal. I mean, that's just the way she is, and the way she approaches the game. She's just so tough mentally, and she just gave her team a chance to come back and regain some composure, but the defense is good. They're a skating, mobile defense. They're small on the back end, but they can all move the puck and skate well. So, it's funny. We all know the names that have been around for such a long time, like a Jane Hafford or a Carolyn Ouellette, but really the young kids are really coming up, and they're just tremendous players, and they're challenging those guys for their spots on a regular basis.
Currently in conversation with Canadian hockey icon Cassie Campbell. Now, after you retired, you were inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame in 2007. To think of all the athletes that have their name in there, how special was that for you?
Yeah, that was really neat, and it, just again for women's hockey to be recognized, and it was soon after I retired, and I think a little shocking. I think when you retire, you never think Hockey Hall of Fames or any of those types of things are going to come your way, and especially not quickly, and that one kind of came, I think, less than a year. So it was just kind of shocking, and it kind of puts a sort of a final stamp when you hear Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, or any Hall of Fame for that matter, come your way. It's just like an extra stamp on your career, and it shows that you've had some sort of impact in the game. And I was really excited at the time. I dedicated that to Angela James, and to see her get in soon thereafter, I think was really, even more special for me to be able to honor a pioneer and a hero of mine, and to be a part of, trying to get her in that same hall was pretty special for me. And so those are the things I mostly get excited about.
And now currently you're in the broadcasting world. Was that always a dream of yours, and how did that portion of your career start?
Well, not really. I mean, I never knew there'd be that possibility growing up, but, I kind of dabbled and was given a variety of different opportunities as I was playing, and I remember after the 2002 Olympics, I got to work for the NHL Network, which had just started up, and they asked me to be an analyst, and I jumped at that opportunity, and I kind of got a little bit of a bug then, and, Rick Briggs-Jude was the guy that kind of got me started in that, and I always am very thankful for that opportunity, especially at a time when, women's hockey wasn't even still, even really considered someone, people weren't considered that they knew much about the game, and so that was a great opportunity, and I just kind of dabbled in it, and knew I kind of liked it, but wasn't sure I wanted to make it a career or anything. And I guess I still don't know if I wanted to make it a long-term career, but And then Hockey Night in Canada comes along, and you're like, whoa, this is the show I grew up watching, and it was a great opportunity, and I auditioned for that show with my now producer Jim Huff, and they were happy with my audition, and so I feel like I've gotten better as the years gone on. I never went to school for broadcasting, so learning on live television in front of 3 million people every Saturday night has been a little tough at times, but the guys are good to me, and I feel like I'm getting better, and I'm getting to work for such an iconic show, and I'm learning so much about the game. I'm getting to speak to people like Scotty Bowman and different coaches around the league and GMs and, the players that have played in the league for a long time, and they're just really teaching me a lot and giving me a different perspective on the game.
Well, Cassie, congratulations on everything you've accomplished, and thanks for joining us.
No problem, Adam. Thanks so much for having me, and we'll see you guys in Ottawa hopefully Friday night when Canada plays Finland.
That was Canadian hockey icon Cassie Campbell-Pascal, current spokesperson for Hockey Canada's Chevrolet Safe and Fun program. Time for one final break. Who's this week's Yahoo Canada Sports Buzzing the Net Player of the Week? Find out when we come back. You're listening to Canada's only nationally syndicated junior hockey radio show. This is RBC Junior Hockey Magazine, coming to you from the World Women's Hockey Championships in Ottawa, brought to you by Chevrolet Safe and Fun Hockey. Welcome back to RBC Junior Hockey Magazine in Ottawa. Time now for the Yahoo Canada Sports Buzzing the Net CHL Player of the Week. And this week's winner is Mitchell Theoret of the Barrie Colts, who had 7 points in just 2 games. For more junior hockey coverage, visit Yahoo Canada Sports and click the CHL tab. This season of RBC Junior Hockey Magazine is brought to you by RBC, premier sponsors of hockey in Canada. By Tim Hortons, premium blend coffee, always 20-minute fresh. By Chevrolet Safe and Fun Hockey, helping Canada's young players get a head start on safety. Safe on the road, safe on the ice. And by Yahoo Canada Sports, your only source for all things junior hockey. Follow us on Twitter at Junior Hockey Mag and like us on Facebook at RBC Junior Hockey Magazine. Colin Campbell is our executive producer, Adam Karsh our producer, Phil Perkins is our director of social media. Until next week, Canada, I'm Adam Scully saying so long, hockey fans, and thanks for joining us on RBC Junior Hockey Magazine.